People seem to think that confidence means not being nervous, but that is completely wrong. Everyone feels nervous at some point. The difference is what you do with it. If you're waiting for your fear to disappear or your nerves to disappear, you're going to wait for forever. I teach communication every single day, and I can tell you the people you admire, the ones who seem so smooth and natural, they still feel nerves. They've just trained themselves to handle them differently. So today I want to show you why confidence isn't the absence of fear. It is the control of fear. And I'll give you a way to actually start building that control. Now here's what usually happens. You've got something you really want to say. Maybe it's in a meeting or in a one-to-one conversation or actually on stage, and right before you open your mouth, the nerves hit. Your chest feels tight suddenly. Your words don't really come out the way you want them to. Your thoughts scatter. And the conclusion you draw is, okay, I'm clearly not good at this. If I was, I wouldn't be this nervous. And that belief right there is what keeps so many people stuck. Because nerves aren't proof that you're bad at speaking, they're just proof that you are human. That shaky energy in your body, that's just adrenaline. It's the same system that fires up when you slam on the brakes in traffic, or when you nearly trip and catch yourself. It's not failure, it's just basic biology. But let's be honest, sometimes those nerves feel completely overwhelming. Not just a little jittery, completely crushing. Like they're too much to actually carry. Why? Because of what I call nervousness multipliers. So here's the idea. Your nerves themselves, they're just the baseline. That shaky feeling will always show up. But what makes it unbearable, what makes it feel like too much, is everything you stack on top of it. Everything you stack on top of it. Every single thing you're unsure about adds to your nerves. And that pileup is what makes the weight unbearable. So let me show you what I mean. Let's say you have got a meeting coming up. You're a little nervous, of course. That's completely normal. But now, on top of that, you're not sure of how to start. That is a multiplier. You're not confident in your main point. That is a multiplier. You're doubting whether your tone sounds right. That is a multiplier. You're second guessing yourself, or if your face looks flat. That's a multiplier. You're wondering if you sound boring. That's a multiplier. And now you've gone from a little nervous, from totally paralyzed. And that's what multipliers do. So they do not create the nerves themselves, but they stack weight on top of them until it feels impossible to actually move forward. And it doesn't just happen in public speaking, it happens literally everywhere. Maybe you're at a coffee shop and you want to ask the barista a question, but you're unsure if you'll stumble over your words. That is a multiplier. Maybe you're in a group conversation and you want to jump in, but you're not sure if your story will actually land. That is a multiplier. Maybe you're writing an email and you reread every line 10 times, second guessing your tone. That is a multiplier. Everyday communication is full of multipliers and they just add up until you feel like, okay, it's just safer to not say anything at all. So confidence isn't actually about erasing the nerves. It is more about removing all of those unnecessary multipliers. The nerves themselves, they will always be there. But you can always strip away all of those extras. And once you do it, the only thing left is the person in front of you. And that is the only variable that you'll never be able to control. You cannot control how they react, you cannot control what they think, but everything else, your tone, your face, your hair, everything, you can control. And the more multipliers you remove, the lighter your nerves will feel. Let me give you some examples. When you know your message, like literally know it, really know it, you've removed the multiplier of uncertainty. When you've practiced your words out loud, not just in your head, you've removed the multiplier of stumbling. When you've gotten comfortable with your voice by recording yourself, you've removed the multiplier of, do I even sound good? When you've practiced eye contact in everyday conversations, you've removed the multiplier of, what if I look awkward? And little by little, those nerves that you thought were proof you're not good enough, they start to feel a lot more manageable. Because it's not the fear that disappears, it's that you stopped giving it so much fuel to keep moving forward. And here's the beauty of it. It applies to everyday conversations just as much as it does on stage, on those big moments. Before a conversation with your boss, clarity about your main point removes multipliers. Before you walk into a networking event, having an easy opener in the back of your pocket removes multipliers. And suddenly, nerves do not feel like a wall anymore. They just feel like a bump you can finally step over. But now let's zoom in on why this is so incredibly powerful. Because most people wait for nerves to just go away. They keep waiting and waiting and waiting, but nerves do not disappear. And the danger is, the longer you wait, the more you practice avoiding. And avoidance is the biggest multiplier of them all, because every time you avoid, you reinforce the story in your head that you cannot do this. And the next time, the nerves will feel even heavier. But when you actually step in, when you face the moment and remove all of the multipliers you can, you build evidence for yourself that, hey, I can actually handle this. And that's what builds real confidence, real long-lasting confidence. So really, the takeaway is, if you're nervous, nothing is wrong with you. If you're nervous, you're not broken. The nerves themselves are not the problem, it's the multipliers. Remove them, practice vocal variety, practice your clarity, practice structure, practice frameworks, and you'll discover what confidence will actually feel like. Not the absence of fear, but control of it. That is the shift. Not waiting for the nerves to vanish, not hoping for them to magically disappear, but realizing that confidence is just fear under your control. So really what you should do is, the next time you feel those nerves slowly bubbling up in your chest, you should not ask yourself, why am I so nervous? You should ask yourself, what multipliers can I remove right now? Can you maybe fix your hair a bit if that is something you're insecure about? And that is the question that changes everything. If this resonated with you, you should definitely hit subscribe. I share new videos like this every single week. And I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.